Ladies and gentlemen of the 118 scale, 3.75-inch, 4-inch modern action figure community, I'm back again with another video. And today, we're discussing Storm Shadow. So, who is Storm Shadow? And where did he come from? Storm Shadow has a very interesting backstory. And I'd like to get into it a little further. At one point, Snake Eyes, being an original member of the G.I. Joe team, was deemed to be, he turned from a commando to a ninja commando at some point. I don't know what G.I. Joe's thought process was on that, but with him becoming a ninja commando, G.I. Joe having a ninja, then Cobra needed a ninja also. So in issue number 24, which was released back in 1984, they created Cobra's ninja, which was Storm Shadow. Now, Storm Shadow was an interesting character. He was born in California, but he was sent to Japan to study under his uncles, Hard Master and Soft Master. And he also has a cousin, Middle Master. We would also be introduced to one of his cousins in the G.I. Joe verse, who is Jinx. Yes, he trained with Jinx, and Jinx is his cousin. So, Storm Shadow, so to speak, is a code name, and he is not the first Storm Shadow. Actually, Storm Shadow's family and the family business is that of ninja clans, and they go back 30 generations. And that is the Arashikage ninja clan. So with that being said, Arashi means storm and Kage means shadow. So in a sense, everyone in his family who had the name Arashikage is essentially Storm Shadow. Storm Shadow obtained an 8th degree black belt from the Arashikage compound, and against his family wishes, he decided to come back to America and sign up for the draft, in which he went and served in the Vietnam War alongside a few other G.I. Joe members. I know one was Stalker and Snake Eyes, and that's where he became friends with Snake Eyes. He actually saved Snake Eyes' life in Vietnam. So I want to divulge a little more into the Storm Shadow story, because that's a little backstory on him. I'm not going to get too much further into that. Maybe a little further, but not too much, because I'm not a historian on this by any means. But when it comes to Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, I personally am more of a fan of Storm Shadow. Storm Shadow is a far more interesting character than Snake Eyes, and I think this is where the franchise makes a lot of its mistakes, because they put so much emphasis on Snake Eyes when the actual money seller or grabber, the actual franchise player of all of this is more or less Storm Shadow, because Storm Shadow has been sold as a Cobra as long as I've known him. However, Storm Shadow does not seem like a Cobra. He actually seems more like an undercover operative. Through all the stories that I've read about Storm Shadow, he always reverts back to G.I. Joe and being more friends with G.I. Joe. I guess the rift between Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes came because Snake Eyes at some point began training at the Arashikage also. And when I believe it was Blind Master was assassinated by an arrow. Snake Eyes believes that it is Storm Shadow who uh, perpetrated that act. And we all know at this point that it was not Storm Shadow, that it was Zartan. But I guess their rift came in with Snake Eyes believing it was Storm Shadow who killed Blind Master. So, with that being said, Storm Shadow joined Cobra just to get into cahoots with Cobra Commander and that team and find out and avenge who killed his uncle. So that doesn't seem like a dedicated evil Cobra operative to me. He ended up getting in and becoming like one of Cobra Commander's right hand man. So you can pause this and read it here if you would like. Named Thomas Arashikage, which leads you to his name Storm Shadow. Remember, Arashi is Storm, Kage is Shadow. So pause that and read that. I'll have another one for you in a second. So with that being said, it leads me to wonder why hasn't the G.I. Joe franchise used this gold mine of a character. He could have been used like a agent, like an undercover agent, going around doing different deeds, trying to find out, all the while being a part of G.I. Joe, because in the G.I. Joe verse, he always came back to the good side. Once he was made to see Billy and Billy get tortured, Billy didn't break. So he ended up taking Billy under his wing. Remember, Billy Arbok was Cobra Commander's son and sent to assassinate Cobra Commander. It was Storm Shadow who stopped him from doing that, and he took him under his wing and trained Billy under the Arashikage. Here is the next card. His next file card. And there you have it. So, I guess it's safe to say that Hasbro never wants to give us a accurate Storm Shadow action figure. They're all over the place. You have this one that looks like he's more of a foot soldier. And actually what I do is I have a few of these. These are actually different figures. They look alike, but they're different. Right? And I have quite a few of those. And I use them as a personal team build, for Storm Shadow's personal guard. They go out and do his bidding, his dirty work and stuff. But ultimately, after all of the figures that they offered us to represent the Storm Shadow character, my favorite is the Retaliation version, and this is the ultimate Storm Shadow. So if you've seen my videos in the past, you know that I've always sing the praises for the Retaliation line for how well they created their figures and how well they captured the essence of the actual character. This right here is Storm Shadow and 100% of what I would expect a modern Storm Shadow to look like. This is a great figure and is by far in my top 10 list of favorite action figures of the G.I. Joe line of all time. Also, they don't disappoint because, they always give a head sculpt, an extra head sculpt. Well, not always, but most of the time they give an extra head sculpt, which is always a cool thing. This Retaliation version of Storm Shadow is probably the first figure you would see me give a, drumroll please, A+. This figure is an A+ in my book. He is one of the best captures of what the original character was, and for that, I definitely praise this figure. He is pretty cool, and if you can pick him up in the aftermarket, because of course you ain't gonna find him new anymore, but if you can pick him up in the aftermarket, I suggest you do. He is a great addition to your collection. All these other figures that are under the guise of Storm Shadow is cool. There are some cool ones out there, but this is the best one. Let's look at some of his equipment. He comes with a fan. I guess it's a weapon. Probably a shield. There's that one more time. I zoomed in a little more. All right, secondly, he has these throwing daggers. I'm not sure what they call them, like shurikens or something like that. He has 2 of those. He comes with a lot of equipment. Right, you have those. He has these 2 ninja stars. Easily lost. I bet if you find this in the aftermarket and it's opened, he probably won't have those. He also has these things. If anybody knows what these are called, please link them below. Please put them in the comments. What are these? And I love karate flicks, but I've never actually seen these in karate flicks. And he also has these things, this thing here, which looks like it might be some type of a blow dart system he has going on. He has a lot of small equipment, so a lot of this stuff is going to be lost if you ever find it in the open, in the aftermarket. So be on the lookout for all this stuff. Right? Excellent. So, like I mentioned before, I am a fan of kung fu flicks, and if the Storm Shadow Snake Eyes story reminds me of any kung fu flick, if you have not seen this already, Quentin Tarantino did a remake of it, so at least you can find a really good copy of it, or you can see it on Netflix. The karate flick Iron Monkey, and that movie.
Call from +13212472753.
Actually details kind of the rift between and how things get in the way of 2 people and causes a rift, and the rift may not even be real, but it's just the outside influence which is making it worse. So if you ever got a chance, check that movie out. That is a good one. Pretty much with that being said, I think I'm going to start winding it down here. Like I said, I'm not a scholar of any of this by any means. I just thought I'd get up here and have a little talk, a little discussion this morning about Storm Shadow. As you see here, here's a super cool action figure to add to your collection. Also, while I'm looking at equipment, this is his backpack. He has an arrow. He has a bow. He has these 2 sai, just like Raphael from the Ninja Turtles. His arrow is around here somewhere. I gotta find it. He also has this backpack where you can actually keep some of the equipment, and that's a big thing in the G.I. Joe world, is that they come with so much equipment but nowhere to keep it all. But he actually can hold on to some of it. He has these 2 swords. I guess you can call them katana blades. One is bigger than the other. You know, that's kind of how they do it in the ninja world. You have that one smaller sword. And here we have it. This is his arrow. He comes with that also. So keep in mind, a lot of this stuff is going to be missing when you come up on them in the aftermarket. I actually had a couple Storm Shadow figures, some that I sold. So I was able to get a comic card and an action figure stand, but he doesn't come with all of this because Retaliation line doesn't offer all of that to you. He also has like this ninja spinning thing. It's like a backpack. You peg it onto his back and he does this spinning thing. Yeah, I'm not into some of the gimmicky stuff that came along with it, but I always keep in mind it's for kids. It was meant for kids, and that I'm going to keep it because if I ever decide to get rid of it, I want all the original parts to be a part of my sale. He also has his extra head sculpt, which is here, an unmasked head. And I may even use him with a suit to make another Storm Shadow figure into this world. That's his other head sculpt. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this talk. I hope it was semi-informative. I know it wasn't fully informative. There's so much to talk about with Storm Shadow. Keep in mind that this right here is the G.I. Joe version of Storm Shadow when he got into the Ninja Force, and that is a Dollar General figure. Very cool. Pick them up, Dollar General. If you never got a Dollar General G.I. Joe figure, you missed out, and now they're super expensive, but they were very nicely done. So with that being said, feel free to ask questions or comments, put them down below. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and checking out this video. I will be back with more videos. I'm going to be in these streets creating these videos. So just be on hand and just be ready, because I will try my best to keep bringing you more and more videos. There you go. Peace. I'm out.